Hello, and help me welcome Dave Narkunas. Dave, nice to have you on the show. You're going to be running for an open seat in the legislature for Ward 4. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I was born in Nashua here, and I've lived in many places around Massachusetts and New Hampshire, but I'm back here now. And I went to Nashua High. I did a lot of track. I ran a lot of track there.
Really?
Ended up moving to Durham, went to University of New Hampshire where I graduated in biochemistry.
Oh.
From there, years later, I ended up attending Suffolk University Law School in Boston, focusing on intellectual property. I have been over 20 years a federally licensed member of the U.S. Patent Bar, where I focus mostly on patent prosecution. I have a background in biochemistry, genetics, bioinformatics, biomedical engineering, immunology, and patent law. That's what I've obtained through working for 20 years in various capacities. So one of the fortunate things about working in this industry is I got to work at 220 Mass Ave, which was in the center of MIT. And I got to see lectures from Nobel Prize winning scientists, and I get to shake their hands and get my photo with them. So
That's kind of impressive too, the people that you were going around with, because the professors down there are pretty bright.
Right, there were a lot of traveling professors from other places that did show up, and then from other countries as well. When I got older, I aligned myself and ended up working with someone who was in the military, and he ended up going to intelligence work for a certain government agency. And he got me really interested. So one of the side hobbies, I guess you could say, that I enjoy is I'm a lifetime member of the Military Intelligence Corps Association, and I'm a member of the Association of Former Intelligence Officers. And I will just leave it like that.
Okay. But that must have been exposing you to a lot of different things.
Yes, because you get literature to read, like The Intelligencer, and you get to read cutting-edge stuff what people are thinking. And then also, you get to attend meetings with people from the Bureau and the company. And one of the most memorable times, at one of the meetings I went to, where John Woodward was there from BU, we got to discuss with the guys that actually worked on the anthrax case, certain strategies they were using to try to catch who it was.
So trying to find out who could make that stuff.
Yeah, and they taught me techniques about how they train dogs and were using dogs to try to identify, because they can actually scent on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. It must be kind of complicated too, but you drew on a background of kind of a little bit of everything in the biochemistry, engineering, and stuff of that nature.
Yeah, I worked. See, one of the things that was really interesting was I didn't expect to get the job. For one of the places I applied was Atrium Medical, back in the day when it was Atrium. And I told Paul, who interviewed me, I said, I don't have a degree in biomedical engineering. He goes, I looked at your resume, you're smart enough to learn this. And I ended up being the in-house IP guy.
I see.
Yeah, you never know sometimes how things are going to go.
You're right. I know I've run into that during my career too, and sometimes you're surprised, and sometimes you're very much surprised. But anyway, we're talking about you. Now you want to go into the legislature here in New Hampshire, because you can think with your background you might be able to help some of the legislators out who know nothing about the science that you do.
Well, I think it's more, I mean, I don't know how relevant all my science background is going to be, but I think the research ability I have to go digging and organize is really important in my field.
Definitely.
To be able, I mean, patent law is the quintessential apprenticeship where you have to be so organized and detailed down to, is it a semicolon or is it a colon, you know? Does it end with this character or that character? It's very specific. So my attention to detail and meticulous nature will make me kind of tenacious, I think, to fight for people. That, and another part of my background is I'm a member of the John Birch Society. And so we focus on promoting the Constitution, following the Constitution, and we're anti-communist, basically. And I can see so much infiltration in this country with almost every facet of our society has been infiltrated by people that don't want to follow the Constitution, and also they want to do bad.
Right.
They want to dismantle the Constitution and dismantle the core, the fabric of society.
Right.
And it's something that someone has to stand up and fight for. And so I'm willing to do that. And I'm willing to take a look at the schools here. I think one of the most important things is supporting the kids. Who's going to support the kids? They are getting indoctrinated instead of educated. And I want to fight for the parents and the kids that are victims of this critical race theory.
Right.
People don't know that in this country, little kids that don't even know about racism are forced to stand up in class and apologize for being white, inherently racist. That in its own right is racism, judging someone from the color of the skin.
Plus, the whole approach is more of a hateful type of approach. It's against everything, and I think you're right. There are probably lots of proposed legislation up there right now that people are talking about. I don't know if you've followed that or not, but they have several laws. And I'm not even sure what they say, but they need to be analyzed to make sure that they're not saying something that nobody wants, really. And
Yeah. I agree. Another reason I'm running is specifically because of the Republican, Nashua Republican City Committee.
Yeah.
I was approached by the vice chair, it was Corey, and he said, "We need you to run. You seem like you have the ability and the drive and the youth that can compete against the sole-running Democrat. And if you run," he said, "they're going to delay a vote because there's going to be an opposing party going." And they wanted to reinstitute what the Republicans stopped, which was forcing kids to get up and say, "I'm inherently racist and I apologize." So I said, yes, I'll absolutely run to stop that. Because again, critical race theory, I'm against that. And another big one is this gender identity classes. This CRT and gender identity teachings do not belong in school. And I want to fight against that. And it's just confusing these kids. They're young, they don't even know who they are yet. And they're being suggestively told things about their identity. They're being programmed. But the thing is, people don't understand about kids is that it's like giving you have like a computer. Their brain is like a computer. And once you hardwire it a certain way and indoctrinate it, it's really difficult for people to undo that, especially when they're young to be able to do it. But when you get older, you have the ability to think rationally for yourself. You're not experienced when you're a young kid, but you start to see the world as you get older and you go, oh, I have choices. And then you start to analyze things more critically and say, this is being deceptive. This doesn't make sense when you critically think about something.
Well, you got a tough ward there because it is a strong, has been a strong Democrat. So you got to go and how are you going to approach the people there to identify yourself and to show them that this is a problem that you can help them solve up in Concord?
Well, word of mouth. I've already been talking to a lot of people, and I already have people that say, I'm going out to vote for you. So I'm already starting to collect people that want to vote for me. And also, I think there's going to be a big initiative. I'm going to work with the NRCC, and they're going to be doing a lot of phone calls for me. I talked with Corey recently, and he said, we can have compiling a list of all the Republicans in Ward 4, and we're going to reach out. So there's going to be just a massive storm of phone calls. And also he brought up the notion that there could be a bunch of door knocking as well.
Well, that's one of the basic things that I think most of the good candidates do It's the door knocking, the time that you spend with people, even if it's only a minute or two, is some identification. They know, they get a feel for you about what you're ready to fight for. And it's, you hit a spot that I think you have to keep on hitting, is the children. The children
Oh,
are
yeah.
innocent, and they're looking to learn, but they should be learning the regular things that you do learn in school,
Yeah.
and not some of these odd ways of trying to be manipulated that we're doing.
Yeah, it's very disturbing to see what's happening to the kids in the school. I'm sure you're aware of certain instances in the recent past where teachers dressed up the young kids in drag. I don't know if you heard about that. And it seems to me like in some cases you don't have teachers, you have pedophiles masquerading as educators. And we gotta stop that. These people need to be punished. Another thing why I'm running is accountability.
Yeah.
That's one of the core things that is completely missing in many aspects of, especially American society. People are getting away with all this stuff, all these crimes. No one's getting punished.
Right.
No one's getting punished, and it's why? It's because, oh, you're a Democrat. You get off scot-free.
Yeah.
Republicans want accountability. I know that. The people I know that are Republicans think the same way. They go, I don't know how someone, George Soros, from another country, they just funnel money through avenues. It gets into the United States, and it goes to people, usually lawyers, district attorneys, that are running for office, and they get millions of dollars to run.
Yeah.
Here, we'll advertise, and people will vote for you.
Yeah.
They vote these people in. Criminals come in, and it's a revolving door. It's quite remarkable that people aren't as outraged as me, and that's something I wish I could stop. And
and we, as talking about the schools, though, the teachers are almost directed to do some of this stuff. It's I think what's gone, the schools have done is they've overloaded themselves with administrative people who supposedly are helping the education, whereas they're changing what is normal or what we expect is normal type of teaching into being a good person who wants to help other people.
I agree. Listening to Howie Carr, WRKO, I listen to a lot of conservative radio, a lot. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration from. There's so many higher level institutions that have these jobs, sinecures, let's call them sinecures, where they're paid tons of money to do nothing but just say they have a job there.
Yeah.
And look at the college kids. I talk with them, and they're coming out indoctrinated, and they're coming out woefully undereducated. They're just passing them through the system.
Really?
I give you an example about the indoctrination. This is even at a college level. I worked at a major law firm in Boston with someone, and I couldn't believe when this purportedly intelligent person said, I think the freedom of speech is a bad thing. And I went almost into a state of shock. I said, this is amendment number 1.
Yeah.
That's how important it is.
Yeah.
We put this number 1, and we put the right to bear arms as number 2.
Right.
And I couldn't believe that he told me that. And I'm a member of the NRA, so obviously I'm a huge proponent of the Second Amendment. We have to keep that, because back to the communist infiltration of all levels of our society, the very first thing that, if you look back in history of the various countries that were communists, like say Cuba, say Mao Zedong, the very first thing the communists did is take away the guns from the people. And that's exactly what the Democrats want to do. So you could see very clearly that the specter of communism is running this world. And it's here in America. And people might not recognize it on its face, but I talk to a lot of people, because it's my thing. I'm very good at talking to strangers and stuff. And they say, I absolutely believe we're communist. They say that. We have to stop this.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
We have to start And it's going to be a slow process. Who knows, maybe it'll take 10 years. But I wish it would happen fast, but I don't think it's gonna, because we're up against a big battle of people that are controlling, they just control the laws. And the media is completely dominated. I'm gonna say 92% liberal leftist controlled media. It's hard to find good stuff to listen to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the alphabet news is a joke to me. You can go to other stations and see how they just twist the news. Well, for example, what President Trump said, here's the second half of what he said that got intentionally removed so as to persuade your opinion of what he said. And a lot of people aren't maybe, as I said, as tenacious as me to go find the real information, or they just decide, I'm not watching that station. And it's like, you don't want to watch that station. I'm not going to say which one it is, but it's accurate. It reports everything that was left out of the other station, and you don't want to see it because you refused. It's going to create cognitive dissonance in your head. Basically, what happens is people, when they see the truth, they don't want to accept it. They know that they were wrong, and their brain breaks down like a computer program failing. And that's why they won't do it. They won't rip the Band-Aid off and see clearly that there's a lot of bias in a lot of the news out there, and it's clear as day for people that are skilled at looking at political tactics and word gymnastics used by politicians.
Have you met any kind of response when you're talking to people in your ward that reject that idea that you're talking about of going to find the truth?
No, a lot of the people I talk to and the people I see on a regular basis all concur with the notion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not like they.
You're lucky you haven't hit some of these other people because they have their minds shut.
It's really quite amazing. There's actually people that are no longer in my life because they tell me, you are completely wrong, and Biden's the best president ever. And I go, I can't believe this is coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have come up against people that I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna deal with you anymore. Despite how long I've known you.
Okay.
It's frustrating to have to let some people go, but I can't associate with some people that just have such rejection of reality.
Yeah.
I want to be a member of the reality-based community, and I want to deal with people that want to help foster the growth of the reality-based community. Based on the Constitution, based on truth, based on American principles. They're being systematically attacked, assaulted, and diluted. And this is all by design, on purpose, intentionally. And the main cause, I think, of this is people from the World Economic Forum and various people in that. And I think certain world leaders that went to Schwab's Institute to teach the kids how to become totalitarian tyrants, they're all involved too. It's going to be a trilateral, in my opinion, a trilateral wave of breaking this country and the parts of the world.
Well, as you're working the ward, are you developing some other people will help you, will go around and speak for you?
Yeah, basically Corey. I have to meet with Corey very soon. I just had my first NRCC meeting where I met you.
Right.
So that was just very recently. So we're going to get the ball rolling.
Because that's what we're trying to do there in the group, is to get a team that'll work together. And while you're the one that's running, you're going to need a lot of support to spread the word and support you.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of the meeting, the teams, another reason that I'm running, I'm on the team legal. I was one of the people in team legal.
Okay.
And so it's not just that we're going to take care of Ward 4. We have a bigger vision of taking care of the city.
Okay.
So it's not just start locally. I think the key is to start locally. Right. So the ward is like the unit. It's like the unit. And then Nashua's big and
and
bigger,
spread
bigger,
it
bigger.
out, right?
I talk with some very interesting, intelligent people every now and then, and they say the main key is to start local,
Yeah.
which is why why I'm running, to get the ball rolling.
And to get the people familiar with you, because they have to know, for the most part, but when they vote here, they do try to know the candidate a little bit better. Not to, this is the base level that we're talking about here in the city, but it goes on, and it can build, because if they see that they're electing somebody that really believes in some of the things that they believe in, it'll spread. It'll spread, and they'll talk to their people, talk to other wards, but this is just one step. And I think you'll really enjoy working with the people up there, because for the most part, they are friendly, and the people will work, but not all of them. You'll get some of them that are, as you say, just blind to what the truth is. So.
Yeah, we have to go back to the values. I think of a lot of the founding fathers that created the Constitution and created the foundation of our country. And studying the history of this got me so inspired that I actually became a 32nd degree Knight Templar Freemason.
Oh, well.
So that's one of my hobbies, I guess you could say.
Well, I think it's the appreciation of what happened in the history, I think, is something that helps build the right direction for people.
Absolutely. It is history, and unfortunately, it's being systematically erased and removed. When you talk to young people today, they are profoundly ignorant as to history. They don't even know things from 10 years ago. They're unfamiliar with famous people that did really important things. And I think it's on purpose, by design, so that you don't know where you came from, so that the people in power can control the direction of where they're going. And they're not concerned about, oh, wow, this is what happened during World War II. They're doing it to us now.
Right.
They don't know that. They're not going to teach.
Right.
History's being removed, and statues are being taken down, buildings' names are being changed in the name of the woke. I want to meet the president of the woke, let him have a piece of my mind, but there is none. The woke is an ideology that's like Big Brother from 1984. Even though in that book, Big Brother was like 120-something years old, people still believed he was alive and refused to accept that they were following an ideology because they were so brainwashed and indoctrinated.
Well, do you think the education is controlled by people that are really outside of what America stands for?
Yes, I do. I think that there's an object to not really educate the vast majority of this country, so that they are ignorant, they're not intelligent, they have to rely on the government because they don't have the ability to take care of themselves. That just intentionally opens the door for socialism. And socialism, as we know, is the doorstep of communism.
Right.
I think they want to, the government, as I see it now, wants illegal aliens to come in. They're not migrants. Call a duck a duck. They're using a euphemism so it doesn't have that connotation in mouth that it shouldn't be happening. That's why they changed it to migrant. So anyhow, flood this country with people that get free housing, free medical, free food, free this, free that, on your dime. And then you're going to cause a civil war. Things are going to go to hell, like the Democrat-run cities and the rhino cities. They're falling to the ground. That they're really going bad.
So the legislature plays a big role in this now. You have to correct some of these things.
Yes, yes, we do. And I just wish that people could see they're trying to weaken most of the middle class and these cities, so that there's no choice but to rely on government. And then socialism is phase one, and then full-blown totalitarianism would be the next move.
We'll take care of you type of attitude that they see, that they don't really see what it does to the control of their lives anymore. They just go ahead with it.
it's what do you think's going to happen when you have like millions of people coming in, draining the resources that were intended for Americans? They're going to get upset, and then they're not going to have as much, and they're going to struggle, and they're going to see people getting free everything.
Yeah.
And in fact, I mean, things that don't make sense to me are Governor Newsom of California just allowed illegal aliens to become police officers.
Yeah, isn't that? He comes up with some really
It's the complete opposite of what should be done.
Right.
If there's anything you should not be allowed to be, is a federal officer or a police officer, for that matter. It's something that needs to be addressed.
That's where they get the control. It's all control, and I don't think people see the traps that they're setting. And we'll have to talk again sometime after you get elected and see how it goes. Hopefully you'll have enough votes in that, but it's going to be a little hard work.
Yeah, I understood that it would be an uphill battle due to the percentage of Democrats in the ward.
But a lot of them are people who are looking for a good path forward for themselves. There are a lot of people that see the problems that are coming up. So,
yeah, we're not alone.
Right.
There are others.
And
that's the hope I can give to other people is I've met them and there are others. And you find them in unexpected places, you know.
So, Dave, we've run out of time. Thank you for your input and good luck on your election.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.